Hey, in this video I'm gonna show you how to create a creative brief for branding purposes. So first off, we're gonna use my creative brief template. Find link in the description. Now, my client sent me a PDF with information about the business. So basically, the name of the business is Airport Executive, and they provide airport transfer and chauffeur services. So they have a description of the business, they have some strategy, competitor analysis, they talk about the product, they highlight the unique selling proposition, they analyze the market and stuff like that. So we're gonna use AI, we're gonna use ChatGPT, and specifically Branding GPT, which is my custom GPT I designed for branding purposes. So basically, you can just upload this PDF and it's gonna parse this information and use this information to follow my framework and give you some ideas for your brand purpose, brand vision, core values, target audience, and so on, so that you can use my template and fill it out with information regarding brand strategy, and then we're gonna create some mood boards. So let's start from scratch. Find link in the description to my Branding GPT. You will need an OpenAI subscription for that, but it's really worth it because even if you don't have any background information, you can just brainstorm some ideas. So I'm gonna start with this prompt right here. Just click this, it's gonna ask you what is XXX. So what I'm gonna do is I will upload this PDF, which I have right here, and ChatGPT will just analyze this document from the client and give us some ideas following my 9-step process for brand strategy. So here are some ideas. If you read through those, these are great ideas, basically taken from this PDF and organizing all this information from the client in a nice and clear and concise way. So for that, I'm gonna use the Creative Brief template, which is one of the templates I provide with my Creative Suite bundle. So the client reaches out to you for a branding project, you create a proposal, they accept the proposal, they select the package, and then we create a creative brief. And then once they accept that, then we're gonna design the logo and then present these logo ideas, right? So now we are doing this part. So once you download this template, it's gonna look just like this. So all we need to do is just change the company name here, change the person's name, and you can adjust this wording according to your needs. This we're gonna change at the end. This is just a little description about what is the purpose of this creative brief and what's next, right? But what's important, we want to define the brand, starting with the brand core. So this is just an example from my previous project, and now I'm using ChatGPT to give us some ideas, right? So for brand purpose, provide a seamless and luxurious transportation experience that mirrors the sophistication of air travel, blah blah blah. I think it's just a little too long, so you can just follow up here. And by the way, you're gonna be provided with links to my free guide that you can find on my blog, and you can also run this workshop with your client, or you can just use it yourself and to define the brand and then present the results to the client, right? So you can run this workshop in person, or you can do it online and fill out these worksheets, or you can just use ChatGPT to give you some ideas, which we're gonna do now. So now I'm gonna follow up and say, make the purpose statement short and concise. To redefine luxury travel with seamless world-class transportation services. I think it's great, so I'm just gonna take it and put it right here, right? I can adjust this to fit it nicely, so I can do maybe something like this, right? Adjust this, can make this a little smaller so it fits nicely. And I can also ask ChatGPT to give me some contribution and impact. And the way I designed Branding GPT is that it always gives you some ideas in the form of a table, so it's easy to work with that. Airport Executive will offer sophisticated and seamless luxury transportation services. I'm just gonna follow up and say, make it shorter, don't use company name. We don't need to repeat the company name everywhere. So contribution, elevating luxury transportation with seamless services and a global network of premium vehicles and professional drivers. So we're just gonna put it right here. It basically fits nicely. We can break the text the right way, which would be something like this. And we're gonna do the same with the impact. I'm just gonna follow up and say impact on customers. We want to talk about the benefits for our users, right? Enhanced travel experiences, much luxury, reliability, and convenience. I think this is much better. So obviously I will take some time and follow up and make sure it's all clear and concise and on point. But this is how you basically write this creative brief. And then you're gonna do the same with brand vision, right? You can always follow up, take these initial ideas and work with that and refine them and make them better. And then of course you're gonna do the positioning and then personality. So once you do the whole strategy section, now I want to show you how to create those mood boards. One way of doing this is you can just find a great work on Behance and use it as inspiration, which means basically using other people's work but giving them credit right here, so that you can just guide the client on how do you see the identity coming together. For example, for my previous client, I had a digital mood board and a structured and another one I named growing, right? As you can see, these are different aesthetics, different colors, different typography and stuff like that. So let's design a couple of them. So I'm just gonna follow up, develop 3 distinct mood boards. And as you can see, it's trained on my process, so it's gonna actually give you some ideas in terms of the colors, textures, images and fonts and different aesthetics, so that you can put together those 3 different mood boards. Now, if you don't wanna use other people's work, you can just use Pinterest, which is great for that, and just search for the keywords right here, pull those images together and create mood boards this way. So let's do one this way. For example, we can call the first one Sophisticated Elegance, and I think I can just make it short and just call it Sophisticated. Here you can describe this mood board in a short sentence and then pull some images, right? So in order to find images, we can just start with searching for those keywords. So for example, we can copy paste sophistication and find something that is relevant. Like for example, basically they pick up high-end clients from the airports and usually in Mercedes and drive them around the town and make transfers and stuff like that. So what you could do is you can just find a few images. For example, this one, we have black cars, we have some private jets. So you can basically save this as a new mood board. I'm gonna call it Sophisticated, and I'm gonna start adding some images here, right? So we have one image, and we can go back to ChatGPT, find some textures, maybe like smooth leather. Normally I would spend a few hours to try to get this right, but for the purpose of this video, I'm just gonna show you how to do this fast. Save it in my board right here. Then I can also find some images maybe of the drivers. So this is great, it's like a chauffeur right here. I can save this one. I can do the same with the fonts, right? Serif fonts, that's a great choice, and such as D. or Bodoni. So I'm gonna go back here and search for D. font. For example, I like this one. Okay, so let's say I'm done with that. Of course, I would just take more time to make it look consistent as a whole mood board, but I think it's pretty good. We have some ideas for the color palette, whether it is gold or silver. We have some business cards with gold foil finish. We have some images of a chauffeur, a customer using those chauffeur services. We have some ideas for the logo. We have some ideas for the monogram, some photos of the interior of the Mercedes, luxury leather and stuff like that. So once you are done, you can basically just go right here and input these images and create a mood board, right? And then you can change these colors and create some mood board that would represent the aesthetics that you feel are appropriate for this type of project, right? So I would just copy this image and paste it right here. I would resize this image and then I would just start building my mood board, right? So I can just follow this layout or create my new layout, whatever works for you. So in just a few minutes, I was able to create this mood board. Now I just want to describe this. So I can just use ChatGPT to do so. I'm gonna follow up, give me 1 sentence description for the first mood board. So after a few refinements, I was able to get this description, which I think fits our mood board perfectly. So sophisticated combines gold tones and refined textures like leathers with serif fonts like here or there, offering a premium travel essence. So I think this is pretty decent, and of course I would just spend more time to refine this mood board, but this is basically how you create a mood board. Another way is to just go to Behance, and then you want to make sure you are in the branding category right here, and then you can search for some keywords like luxury, for example, right? So I have some ideas here. I like this work, which basically uses black and white photography with some gold finishes, serif fonts. We have some color palette and some examples of the identity system and how it works together, even a pattern. So I think it's also a great example of the aesthetics we can use for this project. So I would basically just do the same. I would just basically screenshot these, save them, and then go over to InDesign and put together a mood board this way. So that's basically how you create this brand brief, and then at the end you want to include the package that your client selected, right? So in my case, the client went with the pro package. I want to list deliverables again just to make sure we are on the same page in terms of what are the expectations of the scope of work. And then you send this brief to your client, and the way you do that, you can just go here, click publish, and you're going to be provided with a link that you can send it to your client, so you don't have to deal with PDFs, getting lost in email and stuff like that. So this is how to write creative briefs for branding projects. If you like this video, then give it a like and follow for more tips on branding, strategy and design. And I will see you in the next video.